Welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. Today we'll be looking at the Bitcoin price. Why did it drop by $550 in a matter of minutes? We'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at the charts for Bitcoin. We'll be looking at the markets overall, see what's happening overall. It's kind of a red day, obviously, for obvious reasons. We'll look at a couple of news headlines as well. But the main thing is, we'll want to talk to you this morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Let me know what you were up to at the weekend. Over the weekend, I don't think we were doing a bit of DIY. We were doing some more tiling at the weekend, which was quite cool. Really enjoyed that, and kind of other bits of DIY jobs. I've got about a list of 11 things, still small things we need to do to the flat before we go on to the bigger things as well. So we were doing that, plus we were, Saturday I had a kind of a day in by myself. My wife was out, so I had a day in by myself, so I just kind of went to Waterstones for 3 hours. Read for about 3 or 4 hours and watched a couple of YouTube videos for a couple of hours. So it was a good day. It was a really good day, and then I picked up my wife. So Saturday was a good day, and Sunday was DIY day. So it's been a good weekend. So let me know what you got up to. If you're watching just now, I'm just going to see if we're live, just to make sure everything is okay. Oh, another thing as well, just I may have there was a deal on the table for a book I'm writing just now from Wiley Publishing, which is quite cool. This is an aside from crypto, obviously. I've written a book called The Belief Principles, 7 Beliefs That Will Transform Your Life. And so I've written that book. I've done the first draft. I've done the first draft. I need to get it edited. And I'm in talks with Wiley Publishing just now. But I've actually decided to go it alone and go self-published. So I'm going to self-publish the book at the end of March. So look out for that as well. I know it's nothing to do with crypto, but kinda it's all about your beliefs and how to kind of change your beliefs and what beliefs are, how they're formed and everything as well. So really looking forward to that as well. That's an aside from what I'm doing. Plus I'm writing fiction books as well, which is quite cool. So that's just a big thing that I'm doing just now as well for the business. Okay, I'm going to dive over and see what the hell is going on. See if we are live. Don't know if you can see me or not. Hopefully you can. It's shown here as not. Video unavailable. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. It's saying here on this side, video is unavailable. I'm just going to see. Yeah, just let me know in the comments if you can see and hear me okay. I'm just going to dive over actually just to see if this is working. Yeah, it seems to be working. Okay, I'll dive over. I don't know what the lag is as well. Okay, we have all good to say Mark Paul and Dennis Van der Hayden. Doing okay, yeah, good to see fine and hear. Okay, all is okay. Donny Don Matthew is in the house. Welcome to you. Stephen King is in. Dennis Van der Hayden, Marcus Jafari, Mark Paulin, JC Stander, Honest Crypto Journey is with us. Gordy Boy is back with us. Gary Stewart is here. Derek Holroyd, 5x5. You're okay, all is okay. So looking okay, that's fine. It just shows on my side as not being okay. It says video unavailable here, but that's fine. That's cool. I've got a sci-fi published back in 2010 called A Stitch in Time. Excellent, need to check that out. Stuart, as if we're on the same lines. But yeah, that's my kind of thing for the next 5 years. That was my plan. It was delayed for 5 years to write kind of books and publish non-fiction books and fiction books as well. So I've got a series of books that I'd started writing, but they were shite, to be honest. So I'm going to rewrite them again. And the kind of paranormal thriller. That's kind of what I'm writing. I'll check that out, Stuart. I'm going to check that out after this. Okay, right, we'll go to the markets, see what's happening in the markets just now. We have a market capitalization of 237 billion. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be when I kind of woke up this morning. I thought the market cap was going to be way down, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Bitcoin dominance up slightly to 66.4%. We'll see who the winners and losers are just now. We have Sealy is up 8.7%. Not a lot. You can see it's a red day. 8.7, Theta, Bitcoin SV, Stellar, and Waves are the only, they're not even notable, to be honest, apart from maybe Sealy. that is up. That's up big time from where it was last year actually. And see, that's the one we kind of looked at last year as well, the beginning of last year. But nothing much else. We've only got about 10%, if that, 10% in the green, just made in the green. Loser, Steam 13%, Nervos Network 12%. That's the only two in double-digit reds, which is not bad at all. So still a red day in USD. We'll look at BTC, and we'll see it's a little bit different. So probably 50-50, green and red, and Satoshi value. So that tells you that the Bitcoin USD value has gone down quicker than people are actually selling. So it's not necessarily that they're selling, it's just because the Bitcoin price is down. Always remember that, and I'll always kind of start with that as well. So it's a kind of red day in the markets in USD terms. We'll look at the gainers and losers. Rankings. I know we've looked at that, the top 100, but this is across the board. So we've got SIX is up 127%, Uquid coin is up 95%, Pathhive, Ubique chain of things is up 45%, Soma, Pack Global up 38%, not by that much. Uquid coin 95% on 1.6 million volume, that's good. SIX, haven't heard of, 637,000. That's doing well. What's done well over the last 7 days? GameStars, we've seen Cloakcoin, Future Coin, Ubique, Golden is up, Uquid, 0x Bitcoin, Mekon Cash, all up over 100% over the last hour. Future Coin, 6, All Best ICO, and Uquid Coin, 10%. So not that much. Not been a brilliant day today. Or not the start, over the last 24 hours, not the start to a good week. Okay, crypto bubbles, kind of know where that's probably headed. You can see it's red, 24 hours apart from Sealy, and there as well. Red across the board. If we change that to Satoshi value, we can see kind of flips there and seeing we're green. So it's not that people are selling off, it's just that the USD value of Bitcoin has gone down. Look over the last hour, this is Satoshi value, Sealy, XEM, Kick, there's no big huge ones there over the last hour. And we'll look at USD value, you can see it's turning red. So it's stabilized a bit, Bitcoin price has stabilized at around about 8,600, and the selling has stabilized as well. It's not that bad. Okay, fear and greed index is down to 48. So we're still in neutral territory, and we were at 53, we have been at 56 in the greed kind of area, but we're coming down. So we're kind of neutral, nothing much kind of in the middle of the road. People are just going to wait and see what happens here. Okay, sentiment. What's the sentiment? Bitcoin sentiment is down to 19.04. So I haven't seen that this low for a long time, to be honest. I'm just going to look at that. Sentiment, that's the lowest it's been for a while, actually. Let's see. We've got sentiment chart. Sentiment chart, there it is. So sentiment 29, they're saying 29.65. It's lower than that. That's news BTC. 1 day. It's gone lower. Yeah, sentiment is not good at the moment. It just goes back to the dashboard. 17.65, so it's going lower. So that's people expecting it to go down. So maybe the price is going down just now, but I'll check that in a second. Ethereum is down to 7.69. Litecoin down as well. Tether. EOS is up. XRP is up. Bitcoin Cash, just middle of the road. Binance Coin, 43.98. Stellar, 47. We'll just see if there's any individual coins. We have Fabric, or FabRK. Relative trading volume, 234%. Daily sentiment, 84. Up 15% already. Market cap, 81 million. Just now, Kyber Network, 76.94, which is good. They've not moved though. That could be a good one for the future. 46 million market cap. Walton chain has been moving over the last couple of days. Substratum, that's a blast from the past. 73.24, 217% relative trading volume, and it's down 8.49%, but market cap 1.6 million. If we remember that from last year, that was kind of really riding high. A lot of people were expecting that to do big things. Kind of bombed. PundiX, just leaving that well alone, but it's up there in the sentiment charts. Monocoin, DApps token as well. What else? Skycoin 67, that's down 5% as well. So nothing really much to write home about there either. Okay, we'll dive back to chart. Bruce Rudling is in. Good morning to you. Honest Crypto Journey Market closed on Friday just before I was able to buy some ETNs with my SIP. Where do you see BTC going in the short term? We'll look at the chart. So it looks, it could, there's obviously a case for it going down and a case for it being supported around about the 8,600. But we'll see. But it, literally within the space of about, I think it was 5 minutes, I looked at the minute charts on Bitcoin, and within the space of 5 minutes it kind of dropped 550. So I'm not going to say it's market manipulation, it's just people with a lot of money playing with the market. That's I wouldn't, is it market manipulation, would you say that? I don't know if you want to call it that. Brando25, can you look at Kin? Saw a report that there's a trial this week. There could be a chance where the case with the SEC is resolved. If not, then trial is April or June. Yeah, I've seen that as well with Kin. David Schwartz is in. Good morning to you. BTC reminds me of Yo-Yo. Wonder if it'll take off or fall over. I know. We've been saying that for a while and it's still going up. The average is still going up if we kind of think about that. And that's what the way I want you to think about it as well. Think about the long term. These are blips from 9,200 to 8,600 or below that 8,400. It's going to be a tiny little blip on the map. Think long term. If you're holding Bitcoin, why would you worry? Why would you worry if you're holding Bitcoin just now? Unless you're trading Bitcoin. Trading Bitcoin is different altogether from holding it. Donny Don Matthew, has anyone been able to register the Tezos faucet? I've been trying, but it keeps saying it's processing. It's a direct Tezos Foundation faucet. Pays out 0.01 Tez every 10 seconds to a wallet. Haven't heard about that, Donny Don. Mervyn Skidmore is in. Good morning to you. Chris Camus is in. Good morning to you. Ivan Jimenez is in. I think I've seen you here before, but if not, welcome to the channel. But I think I recognise the name. What do you think about futures trading in Binance? Don't do it myself. It's not a specialist game, but if you're into that, into the trading, yeah, then it's obviously it's great if you can make money from that as well. But I'm not big into it, to be honest. But the fact that they're doing it, yeah, I think Binance should be doing it. They should have their kind of finger in every kind of pie in the trading. And I think Binance are going to dominate the crypto market for years to come. So I think someone right that they would do that as well. Okay, we'll have a look at Binance as well. Dennis van der Hayden, can you look at the DAG chart? I will do. DAG are coming up for the mainnet swap over. And it's a one-to-one swap, so I'll take a wee look at that after. Okay, we'll look at Binance. What's going on with Binance? We've got Go at the top, 17.56%. Lend is up. In fact, we'll look at it on these charts because Binance charts are really slow just now. Cocos is up 16%. It's just trading between 7 and 8, so it's not really up. Same with Net Encash, MFT, Storm 13, CDT 9%. It's coming up as bottom there that you can see. XLM looks good as well. It's crossed over on the daily. So looking at the daily chart just now at the top, looking at the RSI, looking at the MACD, and looking at the volume as well. So volume is not much there, to be honest, but still rising. PO down as well, but it's up 5.8%, but low Satoshi value. ERD is starting to move. Get rid of that. We're kind of looking at that and it already broke out. I said kind of back here in November that it could break out and go up to 35. It did break out and go up to 35 and then it came back down again. So I think we're in a similar situation for ERD. Very similar situation, so I think that could go up quite soon as well. Sky making a move, just a wee bit of a move, 4%. AGI, these are all Binance projects, by the way. Cost is up, again not much. You can see they're all pretty much down. GoChain is obviously not down. It crossed over on the daily back in November, and it's kind of been going up ever since. Went up about 200%. Now a bit of a pullback. Okay, we'll look at KuCoin, see what's going on at KuCoin. So we've got, this is Go as well, 16, and we'll just go to KuCoin Plus. DAG is up 15.96%. I was just saying that the other day on Friday. This is a good one to get into, 127. So this looks as if it could rise. So I was going to put money into DAG or COTI at the weekend. So I've got trading money. I started with $2,000. I'm up to $2,100 because of the big drop with Bitcoin, and then Perlin suddenly went down as well. So I've not lost on that trading. It's up, I don't know, 5% or something, not even 2.5%. So I thought, okay, I put the trading money into COTI or DAG. I didn't want to split it. I just wanted to put it into one of them. So I chose COTI to do it, but DAG is the next one I'm going to target to go into as well, to put more into. So it's up to 127 Satoshi at the moment, and that's up from 110 Satoshi. So it's looking good there. We'll take a look at it in a second when we're looking at all the other charts, but that's the chart for it just now. COTI is down actually. I bought 116 Satoshi, but I'm not too worried about it. They've got a swap coming up as well. 113 at the moment, 113 Satoshi. Expecting bigger things, or big things from this. It is a 2.3 million market capitalization. I do expect it to 5x this year. COTI, and this is an enterprise solution, a bit like PayPal. If you think of PayPal, think about kind of COTI and what they're doing, but it's on a decentralized kind of blockchain. So it's on the blockchain, decentralized, and I think it could be really good. And they've got kind of some big partners in there as well. So I think COTI could be a good one. And the reason I chose COTI over DAG just now, I think DAG is going to 10x for certain this year. There's no doubt in my mind. And I think COTI, because it was a lower market capitalization, and just the partnerships they've got just now as well. And it really was a flip between DAG and COTI. But I chose COTI. There possibly could be bigger returns from it. Just to get to its kind of high, we've got again 10x, but DAG have already kind of gone up to their all-time high and recently. So it really was 50-50. So I think COTI are going to do well. I'm not saying you should get into it. I'm just saying this is what I got into and why I got into it. What else is doing well? Nothing much, to be honest. XLM kind of moving a wee bit. Not by that much. Tezos, 5%. So nothing much happening in Binance. Tezos is doing really well, actually. 8,846. It doubled from where it was. It tripled from where it was previously as well. So doing extremely well. Where is Bax? Bax is still doing well, holding its own at 370 as well. Or 3.7 Satoshi, not 370 Satoshi. What else did we... There's loads of them we had to look at. We had to look at about 15 of them. VRA going down, just in line with the market. UTK starting to come up at its bottom. Ample fourth, still doing well from where it was. So still a lot of opportunities out there, but really like DAG. So I think DAG could do really well. Jump back. David Schwartz, I'm definitely holding Bitcoin long term all the way. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing just now as well. Dennis van der Hayden, they've been added to KuCoin Plus. Excellent. So you can see 15.96%. I wonder if that's part of the reason that they've risen as well. Donny Don Matthew, anyone wanting to get a feel for how futures work, go over to Digitex for the future contest. Free tokens to trade on the testnet and a chance to win real tokens. Yeah, so I'm on that just now. I've not been doing the competition actually. I've just been using the kind of testnet. So I've not been involved really much in the competition itself, but I did kind of sign up for the testnet. Chris Camudo and John Matthew, Tesla's posted does the same for me. I'm loving the Digitex exchange. Digitex could be huge if it works the exchange when it comes out. Ajmal Salim, good morning all. Hi everyone. Gino Dallas in the house. Welcome to you as well. Okay, we will look at the news first, and then we'll look at the main kind of headline about going to 2 trillion. This is from kind of talking about DataDash. I don't know if you've seen DataDash. Obviously, you'll know DataDash. One of the first ones I followed in this space. Brilliant analyst. Kind of love what it puts out. Okay, so look at the news first. Bitcoin price plunges to 8,400 in minutes. Is this the end of the bull rally? So Bitcoin bears have just scored the first major victory this January after the price of Bitcoin plunged 8% at 11 UTC. The price of BTC crashed to as low as 8,461 on Bitstamp Crypto Exchange. Top cryptocurrencies currently trading at 8,665. So that gives us a chance to look at this, what I wanted to show you as well. So this is the minute chart on Bitcoin. You can see here it was at 9,028. And within 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, it went down to 8,460. So that's a drop of $562 over the space of 4 minutes. Now that is a big seller that's done that. Now if you call it market manipulation or somebody looking to make money, it's up to yourself what you call it. But it's still a kind of big drop there, and I think it amounted to about $106 million worth. And we'll just see there. Plunged 7.91%, reaching its intraday high of 9,188, emboldened for bulls. As a result, more than 106 million worth of longs has been liquidated on the derivatives exchange BitMEX in the last 6 hours, according to data provided by DataDash. So what does that mean? So really what that means is if this kind of falls down, so what happens is you've got longs in the market, you've got people who are saying, okay, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to go into it and I think it's going to go long and I'm going to stay there, but I want to have my stop loss round about, maybe they'll have it round about maybe 8,800. So they might have had their stop loss round about here, 8,800, and as soon as it hits that, that's them kind of out of the game. They get stop lost and essentially it's a sell in the marketplace because they have to sell to buy back. So they've sold that, and that kind of pushes the price down even further, and it goes down even further, and then other longs have kind of hit, and they've been having to been sold off as well. So that's why it keeps going down and down and down, and then eventually kind of stabilizes, which it is doing just now. So that's what's happened here. There's been a short sell-off which has liquidated a lot of the longs in the market. That's why it's went down so quickly. So if you think in a space of 4 minutes that we're being manipulated, it's because the longs have been liquidated as well. They've sold off big time. They've sold off a hell of a lot, but they've liquidated the longs within this kind of space. So not good, obviously, for those that had longs on kind of BitMEX and other platforms as well, but obviously good for the shorters who kind of initiated this. So we're kind of stabilizing just now, and we're trying to find our feet back again. So 8,600 seems to be that level just now for Bitcoin. So where could it go from here? We'll just go back to the daily. So we're going to go to the daily just now. We're still within this. You can see here we were on a downward kind of spiral there. So we're in a down channel there, or a descending channel for Bitcoin. We have been for the last 7 months, and we kind of broke out of that on the 13th of January, which is good, and we've held that line. So we're now using this line as a support line. So this was previously the upper resistance line of the descending channel. It's now being used as support. So this is good. This is a good thing. I see this as a kind of bullish sign that's been used as support. We can see there can touch 8,451, then kind of bounce back up. It could come back down again today to around about 8,350. And what we don't want is it coming back into this channel. We don't want that. So if it does fall into this channel or come back in around about 8,100, that would be more of a bearish sign. We've also got obviously the 200 MA here, this purple line here. can see that. And just making sure that's 200. Yep, that's a 200-day moving average, the 200 period moving average. It just so happens we're on the daily, but that's a simple moving average. We kind of pushed above that, and then we kind of came straight back down again. So what we need to do is break above this 200 MA. Once we do that, it's going to be even more bullish for Bitcoin. Sorry about that. Phone's going off, going a bit mental. So it's going to look even more bullish once we get past that, but we have to kind of stabilize here and just calm everything down. Just say, okay, we're fine, everything's good. Where's the support line? We have to kind of look at the supports. So we're going to go, it's probably round about these levels actually. So 8,370 would be a support line here, round about that level. We'll look at that. We'll just go to the weekly and get better supports. Yeah, it's around about these levels. 8,300 I would say is a good support level there. But if you look on the weekly as well, that gives us nicely into the weekly. We've kind of bounced through this descending channel, got through it, and we're still outside of that descending channel and using this as support, hopefully, which is still good. On the weekly, the 70 MA has crossed over the 50 MA. We're still bullish there as well, so that's another still a good bullish sign here. And this to me is just a pullback, just a slight pullback. That's all it is. And I think we could still do well with Bitcoin, unless we fall below this kind of 8,300 level, and this would be a support area for me, kind of on the daily. I'll be looking at that on the daily. The support level around about the 8,300. So unless it fell below that, I think we're safe just now. So we'll need to wait and see what happens. But I think a lot of people will go in with the longs with a little bit of trepidation for Bitcoin, because they just don't know where it's going to go just now. So we'll probably need to wait a couple of days till it finds its price, and then we'll kind of see more what's going to happen there. So if you're looking for a buy-in, I wouldn't say it's a buy-in just now. I wouldn't say there's a selling point or a buying point just now. It's just a kind of wait and see just now. So that just answers your question, Stuart, as well. That's what I'm thinking. Obviously, do your own research and all that, but it's not a buy-in price. There's not a selling price just now either. It literally could go either way just now, which is not good. I'm more bullish than bearish just now. There are more bullish signs than bearish signs, and I'd still be bullish even if it fell to 8,300, and even more bullish if it kind of bounced. Sorry, I'd still be bullish if it fell to 8,300, and even more bullish if it bounced from that area and kind of gone up again. So I'm still on the bullish side for me, but there's both kind of sides of the argument you can look at there. So that kind of ties in with that news story. Got Bitcoin, a gold bug. Peter Schiff loses all of his Bitcoin, says there's zero chance he forgot his password. This is kind of unbelievable. I don't know if you've seen this story, that Peter Schiff has got a Bitcoin wallet, and I'm just going to show you because I've seen the tweet this morning, then I've seen the news story. Where the hell's the tweet? Is it? I'm just going to, here it is. I'll just go to Schiff. After that, right, there it is there. I just lost all of the Bitcoin I ever owned. My wallet got corrupted somehow. My password is no longer valid. So now not only is my Bitcoin intrinsically worthless, there's no market value either. I knew owning Bitcoin was a bad idea. I just never realized it was this bad. Now, there's reasons why he's done this. Obviously, this is to get him back in the limelight again, just to say this and telling everybody else that doesn't own Bitcoin or who are on the fence about Bitcoin that this is a bad idea to invest in Bitcoin. This is why the only purpose of this tweet is the only purpose, because essentially it makes him look stupid. It really does make him look stupid. It just says, error decrypting wallet, please check that your password is correct. Now, he goes on to say to Anthony Pompliano, kind of response. Translation, you forgot your password. Same thing happens to your email if you're irresponsible and forget your password, Peter. But Peter comes back, I did not forget my password. Read my tweet. My wallet forgot my password. My wallet forgot my password. That's how silly this person is, Pierre Schiff. So he's just made himself look stupid. However, a lot of people are going to see that who are on the fence about Bitcoin, say that's that I knew stuff like this would happen. I'm not going to get into the tech side of Bitcoin. I'm not going to get a wallet. Why do I need kind of all that? If I lose my password or my wallet forgets my password, as Pierre Schiff has said, they just won't get into Bitcoin. So he's kind of achieved, he might have achieved that. He's also not afraid to look totally and utterly stupid, which he has done with this tweet, but to his own ends. And it's to obviously get people to buy more gold, and because he's into gold big time. So that's the only reason for that tweet, just to really say how bad an idea that Bitcoin is. So somebody had gifted him the Bitcoin way back in the past. I don't know if you remember that story. Somebody gifted it to him and gave him the details, but he's saying the wallet has forgot his password. He's not forgot his password, the wallet has forgot his password. So what a donkey, to be honest. But there's a reason why he's tweeted out. You have to remember that as well. So it's just going on to kind of talk about this. This is Lolly. Hi Pierre Schiff, we partnered with Udemy so you can learn how to use a computer and earn Bitcoin. 13.5% sats back at the same time. So I thought that was quite funny as well from Lolly. Eric Verhees, CEO of crypto exchange platform Schiff, just says he originally helped Schiff get set up with a Bitcoin wallet in 2018. Here's what happened. After debate in 2018, we went to dinner. Peter had never used Bitcoin before. I helped him set up a wallet on his phone, Edge or BRD. Told him to secure it if he ever held significant value on it. Gave him $50. He forgot password and never recorded phrase. He emailed me a day ago about it. I wasn't going to embarrass him on the interwebs, but then he posts this. If I gave him an ounce of gold and he dropped it on the sidewalk, would he similarly condemn the precious metal as a foolish monetary system? So that was Eric Verhees as well. So just an arse, basically. Another arse in the crypto space. But Vitalik Buterin sides with Peter Schiff, claims crypto wallets need better security. They do need better security, but this was not the kind of point of it. If Vitalik Buterin had kind of seen through that tweet, I don't think he would have kind of put this out. But he just kind of used this as a way, as an entrant to say, yeah, Bitcoin does need better security for the wallets as well. Bitcoin's price action remains in line with 2014 bear market. So the bears could remain in control, an uber bullish scenario. If Bitcoin's 8% drop that took place on January 19 wasn't depressing enough for the bulls, there's still another chart that could make them postpone buying a Lambo this year. So cryptocurrency trader Nebraskan Guna has noticed that Bitcoin's current price action is uncannily similar to the 2014 bear market, in which BTC tanked from $931 to just $310 in a span of 1 year. So he's saying it's very similar to kind of what happened back in 2014. I don't think you should put too much stock in that, but obviously people are going to kind of pay attention to this. And they're saying that bears could remain in control if Bitcoin follows the same pattern this year, as price could drop below 4,000 by November, which could be a huge slap in the face for those who believe that the forthcoming halving event could potentially propel the BTC price to a new all-time high this year. So they're just looking back at history. I think if you're bearish, you're going to find bearish scenarios. You're going to find bearish historical scenarios as well with which to compare it to. If you're bullish, you're going to do the same. You're going to find bullish indicators to prove your point. So nobody's right, nobody's wrong, nobody can tell what the future is. So you have to you really do have to make up your own mind. And the only question to ask yourself is not, is Bitcoin going to go up? And if Bitcoin goes up to $100,000, it means it's going to survive. If Bitcoin goes down to 4,000 or 1,000, it means it's probably not going to survive. So the only question you should be asking yourself when you're going to make an investment into Bitcoin is, will Bitcoin still be here in 10 years' time? That's the only question you need to ask. If you don't fundamentally believe that Bitcoin will not be here in 10 years' time, do not invest in it. Trade it by all means, but do not invest in it. Do not think, okay, this is going to be here for the next 5 years, then it's going to disappear. Just don't invest in it if you don't think it's going to be here in 10 years' time. If you fundamentally and truly believe that it is going to be here in 10 years' time, and it is going to make a huge difference to the way we do finance, and the way we do business online, and the way we do everything online, not just blockchain, but Bitcoin. I'm talking about Bitcoin itself, either as a cryptocurrency or as a store of value. If you do not believe that, don't invest in it. If you do believe in it, invest in it, hold. Do not worry about these little peaks and troughs. That's all they are, the peaks and troughs. Look at this Bitcoin chart again, and look at this on the monthly. So look at this on the monthly. Do you see here, right, I'm just going to take these off just now. You can see on this monthly chart the $600 drop. And it's still bullish. It's still a green candle here. So you don't see the peaks and troughs. These little $600 drops, and that's all they are. They seem big just now because 78% of the total value of kind of Bitcoin just now. But in the grand scheme of things, they are not big drops or big rises actually as well. Let me take all these off. That's something I was looking at before. So you can see we've gone from 230 to 20,000. We're still very much in a bull market just now. And these little peaks and troughs do not matter at all. You're talking about long term. Think about long term. Don't think short term. And don't sell all your Bitcoin just because it's gone down $600 just now. Yes, it might go down to $5,000, but you're thinking long term. That's what we have to do. Right, Bitcoin's next peak may only be 80,000, says Analyst. Only 80,000. So this is from Josh Rager. The next Bitcoin peak will not be as high as most people think. Lots of analysts out there point from 100k to 300k to 1 million. Simple rate of return will show you bottom to peak return reduces by around 20% each cycle. In my opinion, next high hits 75k to 85k. So that said, the analyst who is following almost of 63,000 still predicts a high of around 80,000. And this would be some feat as BTC would need to surge by over 800% from current levels to get there. And the time frame wasn't mentioned in that post, but looking at the chart puts it sometime next year. And further down the thread, he estimated between 2021 and 2023. Take profit, don't be greedy. That's another thing as well. If Bitcoin, so I've been looking at my kind of, not an exit price, but a price to take profit at for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin ever gets to around about 50,000, that's the price I'll be looking to take a profit at. So if it gets to 50,000, I'll probably come out of Bitcoin, wait and see what happens. And then if Ethereum's still low, probably buy Ethereum as well with that, the kind of profits from that. But you have to have a kind of an exit plan as well. And you could ladder out as well. Once it goes to 20k, take some out. Once it goes to 30k, take some out. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You could do that as well, or do the old lady strategy, every kind of 100%, take half out. So yeah, take profit, don't be greedy as well. We've all learned from 2018. Well, hopefully we've all learned from 2018 if you're around in 2018. I certainly have, and I will be taking profit from Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin's advantages highlighted by huge global gold repatriations. So this is the kind of movement of gold. It's talking about the kind of billions of dollars worth of gold that has to be moved in tons. So other more recent efforts will have required no less effort on the part of repatriators. Holland's reserves weighed around 122 tons. When Poland moved its gold back from the Bank of England last November, it had similar weight to transport. So it has to transport gold into its own country when they're kind of taking it back. Germany and Turkey, on the other hand, held much larger reserves at the Federal Reserve. In fact, Germany's repatriation efforts were on such a large scale they began in 2013. Ships brought the last 100 tons of 743 from New York in August 2017. Similarly, Turkey moved 220 tons in the same year. So just to try and move kind of gold, and the tonnage that they're talking about costs millions, possibly billions of dollars to move it. when kind of Bitcoin, it literally cost dollars to move $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. So moving Bitcoin versus gold. With its finite total supply, Bitcoin offers a similar value proposition to gold. However, thanks to its purely digital nature, it improves in precious metal by being massively more portable, easy to store and divisible, and many people have therefore argued before the Bitcoin functions as a digital gold. I still kind of believe that just now. I still think that is the case. Already the growth of the trust in the network has seen several large periods of market expansion from just fractions of a cent per Bitcoin in its infancy, and each Bitcoin now trades for more than 8,500. So it goes on to kind of talk about that as well a wee bit. So I do still like it as a store of value, but I'm hoping with the Lightning Network and everything else, it's going to become a cryptocurrency, its intended kind of purpose as well. Okay, we're going to look at the main story of today. And this is about kind of Nicholas Merton. I don't know if you've seen him before. DataDash, got a brilliant YouTube channel. Love it. That's Siri. Thinking I've said something. 1 second. So this is Nicholas Merton from DataDash. If you've not checked out his channel, definitely check out his channel. Brilliant channel he's got. And he's saying Bitcoin and altcoins approaching largest cycle yet. Bitcoin heading to $100,000 by crypto analyst DataDash. So he's saying on a new episode of DataDash, Merton says he believes Bitcoin will hit 100,000 in its next cycle and will increasingly get exposure in the mainstream as it breaks through its previously all-time high of just over $20,000. I think we're going to hit $20,000, possibly 2021, but I think we're going to break through quite easily when we do break through it. But I don't think it's going to be in the next couple of months, but I do think it's going to be towards the end of the year or beginning of 2021. But I think it's going to break through quite easily. It's not going to hit 20,000, come back down again. I think it's going to go shooting up to about 25,000 and possibly come back down from there, then start moving up again. So Merton says a comparison between the crypto markets and the dot-com bubble offers a glimpse at how Bitcoin's market cap could go in the long run. So from that cycle, you had a valuation of about 17 to 18 trillion at the peak of the dot-com bubble. Don't know if you remember that back at the end of 1999 and 2000. And this is very important and significant to take into mind because we're talking about equities. And the important thing to note about equities is they are dwarfed by currency markets. And that's what cryptocurrencies are. They're an emerging currency and speculative asset class. So you get all the great speculation of assets like you did with tech stocks, but you also get the absolute size and scale of currency markets and storing value. So it's saying it's a kind of hybrid between these markets. You get the store of value aspect that we've seen in gold and silver, which is about 7 to 8 trillion market, $8 trillion market today. But you also get as well, if you take that into account of the market of the scale here, we're sitting at 160 billion market cap. We just talked just as comparison to the peak of the dot-com bubble around 17 to 18 trillion, and he's talking about Bitcoin going to 16 trillion. If you kind of look at the peak of the dot-com bubble, he's saying, but Merton says he's not expecting Bitcoin to reach those valuations in this cycle. His target for the next bull run is 2 trillion market cap. So 2 trillion market cap from here is 10x essentially from here, or around about 12x from here. So I've already told you guys my expectation is that we're going to $100,000 in this cycle, which will mean that we're likely to go somewhere around 2 trillion, give or take. And that's not that crazy to ask for. And to think that an emerging store of value, an emerging speculative play on a global scale, and something that could be perceived as a hedge for a lot of people in currency markets in all kinds of different nations where it's needed, that could be a very reasonable valuation. And I tend to totally agree with what Nicholas has said there. And if you've not checked out DataDash, definitely check out his channel. It's a brilliant channel as well. I love his kind of analysis of the overall market. It looks at the macro view as well as a micro view as well. So that's what we have to do as well with Bitcoin. We have to look at the macro view, and really kind of take that into account. So monthly, where did I put this? This is this kind of line here. I've showed you this before, but this line here is kind of looking at the history between 2015, 2017 and projecting it onto today's prices. And so we're going to get up to 13,000 possibly by the end of February, and then get up to 18,000 by September and break, says here, if we're looking at history, and break the 20,000 range around about February 2021. So about a year from now, should get up to 25,000, and then we'll start pushing on up from there. That would suit me very well to do that, and we could peak, if we're looking at that cycle, the 4-year cycle, could peak at 340,000. Right, that's not the correct time scale. That's me just looking at that from 2 years, 2021. It should be longer than that. So it's not by January 2022. Or actually it could be, sorry, it's 2 years. It is a 2 years from where it was. So it could be the end of 2021, 348,000. But we have to kind of look and just be wary of that and start taking profit. As I said, I'll be starting to take profit around about the $50,000 range, which is probably going to be around about a year and a half's time, if it gets to that. If it gets to that. So as I said, the only question to ask yourself is Bitcoin going to survive? Is Bitcoin? We all know it's going to be a store of value. That's what's being used for at the moment. But if it gets used as a cryptocurrency, then it's going to be even more valuable. Okay, we'll get back to the chat just now. And let me know what you think about that and what your thoughts are on that as well. Ajmal Salim, if BTC reaches 2 trillion market cap, what would be altcoins market cap? It just really depends if people start selling off the altcoins, because it could be that the altcoin purge kind of starts there as well, so people just start selling off the altcoins apart from the good ones. So it just depends how many altcoins are kind of left. Gordy Boy, big boys sell high, big boys buys lower, market manipulation, whatever you want to call it. Roland Rocker, when does it get to 2 trillion? 2 years from now or 20? I don't think he gave a time scale for it, but when he's talking about the next cycle, I'm presuming he's talking about the 4-year cycle, and we're kind of within that cycle just now, I think, if we're looking at Bob Lucas and what he's talking about, the 4-year cycle. So it should be the end of 2022 or something like that. Honest Crypto Journey, did you draw on the price bars projecting the future price, or is that an indicator? I just kind of drew on the price bars. Stuart, that's just from the previous. So if we just look at it, I'll just show you where this is from. So it's from here, 2015 up to 2017. So what you do is, if you've not seen this, is you just go to bars pattern from the low to the high. I'm going to go there, and it gives you a pattern here, and then you can move that pattern to where you want it. You can move it around. So that's all it's been. It's just a projection from 2015 to 2017, and just projected it onto this kind of chart here. Because by my reckoning, if we're looking at the cycles, we'll look at down here. So we've gone 2013 to 2015, and we've gone from 2017 to 2019, very similar pattern to it was in 2013 to 15. So I'm going to presume there's going to be a very similar pattern from 2015 to 2017, projecting onto here. I'm going to have a similar pattern here as well. So that's from 2019 up to the end of 2021. So that's kind of what I'm basing that on. Obviously, there's nothing to say that that's correct or anything like that, and I'm making a hell of a lot of presumptions there as well, mainly that history is going to repeat itself presumption. It's just an indicator, if you will, but you can do that on kind of any charts as well. It's quite good to kind of look at that as well. Andreas is in the house. Good morning to you. G-Slick is in. Good morning to you. Gordy Boy. Schiff tweet is total pants, but I hope everyone realises that crypto passwords are really important, kept safe. Yes, that's obviously, well, I say obviously, newbies coming into the space, it won't see that as kind of obvious as well, that you have to keep your seed words as well. If you're going to a new wallet, you have to keep your seed words as well, very, very safe as well. Sometimes it's better just to write down a notebook and just kind of put the notebook somewhere, safe as well. Hackers take note. Schiff, I used a simple numeric password that I didn't forget, so date of birth then. Yeah. Gino Dow is still following the trend up. Yeah, we're still up. We're still in a bull market. A lot of people say we're in a bear. We're not in a bear market. We're in a bull market. Long term, we're in a bull market. If bulls see bullish and bears see bearish scenarios, then the perception of the asset will always be flawed. So to have proper understanding, you need to be neither and just look at the facts exactly. exactly. And this is why we have to look at the long-term trend. And as I said, the only question you need to ask, is Bitcoin going to survive? That's all you need to ask. If it is going to survive, there's no question that it is going to go up in value. Going up to 100,000, there's no question it'll get there someday if it's going to survive. So the only way you can make it survive is to make it better. And that's what they're trying to do just now, obviously. Not quick enough, but I still think they'll get there, and I still think Bitcoin will be the one. The king of kind of cryptocurrency. Honest Crypto Journey, only way our own perception won't be also biased and therefore fundamentally flawed. Only way our own perception won't be also biased and therefore fundamentally. Yeah, because I'm fundamentally flawed as well. We've got we're all totally biased. So when I'm looking at news, we're in this kind of bubble just now as well. When I look for news, I look for good news for Bitcoin. I don't particularly want to look at the news that says we're going down to $1,000 or $4,000. I don't pay attention to that because I don't believe it and because I don't want to believe it as well. So I'm totally biased in my kind of opinion on where Bitcoin is headed. But if you look at the facts as well, I can also be objective enough and have the wherewithal just to say, I know I'm biased. If you don't know you're biased, then you're kind of screwed. But I know I'm totally biased. But I've got the facts there. As long as it stays on this line, and this is kind of my barometer for Bitcoin, as long as it stays above this line, then I'm going to be bullish on Bitcoin. If it dips below it sometimes for a couple of days, that's fine. But as long as it stays above that, then I'm totally bullish on Bitcoin. So that's my barometer. Stephen Motor said, what do you think about Ether and what do you think it will be in 2021? I think Ethereum is going to be huge. I still think the DeFi space is going to dominate 2020 and 2021, totally dominate and for a few years to come, and I think Ethereum is going to be there. Yes, it could move on to another kind of blockchain, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be Ethereum that's going to be used, and that's really going to tap into the kind of big revival for Ethereum as well, and it's going to push past probably $1,000, $2,000 by the end of 2021. And we'll just look at Ethereum just now, and we'll look at the Satoshi value. This is a monthly. Kind of interesting to look at the monthly actually. If you're looking at macro, you can see we're bouncing off here again at 1.78 million Satoshi. And look where we've been. If we look at, get a scale, where we are just now, and where we've been in the past. So it's only 477% to get to its all-time high in Satoshi value. And I think we're going to get there. I'm not saying easily, but I think we're going to get there. I think DeFi space is really going to push Ethereum, and I think, yes, I'm very big on Ethereum. So aside from Bitcoin, I'm kind of accumulating Ethereum as well. And obviously some of the smaller kind of altcoins I've spoke about as well will be kind of collecting or accumulating just now. And obviously trading as well. So I think Ethereum is still going to do well. And just look on the daily. So on the daily, we're looking bullish as well for Ethereum and Satoshi value. For one, we've crossed over on the daily, as you've not done since 10th of November 2019, and then again 17th of September. And you can see the big drop from there. So we've crossed over on that, that's one bullish sign. We're touching the 200 MA, which is a good sign for kind of traders as well. We're touching that. Not broken through it yet, but we're kind of touching it just now. So it's trying to get up there. We've not done that since way back the 11th of June 2019. And we've not been really over that since May 2019. So trying to get above the 200 MA again, I think has been a hard slog so far, but we're within touching distance, you can see here. So yeah, Ethereum I think is a really good one as well. Although the market cap is extremely high, I still think we could 10x for Ethereum. Do you recommend holding ETC, maybe a long-term $500 coin? And Don Matthew, yes, I think ETC just now, it's had a good run up. I don't think it's an entry point just now, but it's had a brilliant run. We'll just look. So I was looking at here the risk to reward ratio for Ethereum Classic and saying this could be a really good one, and the risk to reward ratio back then when we looked at it, I think when we looked at it was back in beginning of December, and I said it was going to have a run up from here, and the risk to reward ratio was really good, risking about 9% but gaining about 34%, was done even more than that. So 16.5 risk to reward ratio, gained 152% from there with a risk of 9.25%, but that's in hindsight. Originally I'd kind of put it around about here as a 3.75 say risk to reward ratio, which is really quite good. Prefer it above 5, the risk to reward ratio, preferably above 5. So where does it go from here? So we have to take this off for a start, and then we'll look at the crossover and do the fib retracement and see what's happening here. We've got two kind of significant areas there, kind of dropped down. It didn't quite get to 61.8%, so I would say 800 or 84,000 Satoshi could be a good support level there, and holding support just now is about around the 94,000, and that's a 50% fib retracement level. It could fall a wee bit more than this, but it's still looking good just now. So what it's done, we'll take this off again. You don't have to see this, but a lot of the time what happens when you see something going up so much, what it does, it comes back down to meet the 7 EMA, and that's a 7 exponential moving average, 7 period exponential moving average. We're on the daily just now, so it comes back down to meet that, as it has done all the way up. You can see here, bounced off the 7 EMA, bounced off. A couple of times it came below it, but bounced off the 50 EMA. So it's bounced off the 7 EMA all the way up. So it could come down to around about the 90,000 level and bounce back up again. Or if it falls below here, then we're looking at the 50 EMA level, which is about 68,000, which kind of falls in line with the fib retracement level, 61.8%, roughly, around about that. Does it? I'll just kind of push it up here again. No, not quite, it says below that. So 85 would be the fib retracement, and 68 would be the 50 EMA. But really what I'm trying to say is here is still bullish. We've still got a bullish scenario for Ethereum Classic, and I still think it could do really well for the future. Now, if we look at this on a macro scale, look at where we are in the macro. So we'll look here and kind of put we're going to put resistance in here, so 1.14 million. I'm also going to put it, we've got a lot of resistance areas, but we're kind of putting the major ones, and so that's 2 million, and obviously here would be 3 million, so put it 3 million there, and to get to there you're talking about another 222%. So remember, it's kind of risen by, it did get to 161%. So I don't think it's a good entry point for Ethereum Classic for the long term. I think it's going to be a great project for the long term, and I think a lot of people are underestimating it, and it could go a lot higher than it is just now. This is a daily in USD. Where's the all-time high? This is on Binance, obviously. So ETC USD, and we'll look on Bitfinex actually. I'll have a longer history. So the all-time high is what, $40? 47. So I think $100 is easily kind of achievable for them. So that's again 10x from there for Ethereum Classic. Rowan Rocker, where do you see BTC price by 2030? If Bitcoin price survives, we're talking $1 million. If Bitcoin price does survive into 2030 for the next 10 years, I think we could get to that $1 million mark. Because if it does survive, it's not going to survive like it's surviving just now. We're kind of surviving, we're kind of in a niche area just now. Cryptocurrency is kind of niche just now. It's a niche currency just now. But if it survives for another 10 years, it's going to take a foothold. It's not going to kind of just trot along like it has been for the last couple of years. It's really going to rise big time. So that's why I think you have to ask the question, is it going to survive or is it going to die? And if you think it's going to survive in 10 years' time, then you have to say we're going to get up to $1 million purely because of the supply and demand. Just based on that alone, just on the supply and demand, then more and more people are going to get into it. And more companies are going to start using it as well, more and more institutions, and it's going to be used for fund managers, used as a store of value and as a currency as well. I don't see much how the cryptocurrency is going to be used as a currency because of the kind of moving price of it, but that's my hope that's going to be used. Paul Van Gossman, hi Steve, just got on board, LOL. Excellent, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. And we're just finishing up just now. Okay, so I am going to finish there. We'll just take a look at the Bitcoin price and see where it is just now. 8,639, so we're still kind of languishing just now. So this was this 50 EMA I'm talking about. So usually when it kind of falls below the 70 EMA, it comes down to me the 50 EMA, then bounces back up again. It's doing this with Bitcoin, and that's on the 4 hourly. You can see that more clearly in the 4 hourly. So it's doing that with Bitcoin just now. Once it falls below 50 EMA, then we need to start kind of reassessing it again. So the Bitcoin price and prediction for it is constantly changing, obviously. But this big drop would be a little blip. It'll be a little blip soon. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Okay, I'm going to leave it there just now. I went over time a wee bit, and I apologise for that. But thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. And sorry I didn't get to look at all the charts and that we're going to see as well. But thank you very much, and hopefully you have a brilliant day. And I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Last one out. Hit that like button, please. That would be fantastic. I'll be kind of breaking this down, and the Tim Gash had kind of mentioned last week about kind of breaking this video down into a news section or something and just kind of condense it. So I'll be doing that after this, probably about 2 hours time once this kind of goes live on YouTube, or once I'm able to download it from YouTube. So I'll be doing that as well and just giving you a condensed version as well. So hopefully that helps. I'll just break it down in 20 minutes. So hopefully that helps as well. I'm going to see if it can help grow the channel. So Tim Gash, thank you very much for that suggestion. I have thought about it before, but it just took too much time, but I'm going to try it. And see what happens. So thanks for watching. Last one out, hit the likes, and until next time, namaste. Take care. Bye now.